Welcome back. We are continuing our journey as an overview through the book Figure It, Face It, Fix It. This is a cognitive behavior therapy, or a CBT way or modality of addressing addiction and recovery and behavior change. We've already gone through the phrases, most of them anyway, that deal with what we call the choice process. There are 6 of them I want to use, I can use. However, once and it's over, so in this moment, I choose to accept temporary discomfort, and we finally come to the 6th and final phrase, which is, so I can get my benefits. This is the 3rd declarative statement. What am I declaring? I'm declaring I'm going to keep my eye on the prize, which is my benefits. The benefits is the focal point. The benefits is the carrot at the end of the stick. In other words, it's my motivation that keeps me driving forward. This is the engine, if you will, of my sobriety. Now, there's a lot of different types of motivations out there. There is a fear-based motivation. And in my experience, most programs are fear-based in their mentality, meaning that the motivation or the carrot at the end of the stick is oftentimes your consequences. Fear of your consequences. I remember going to meetings often, and there would often be a testimony by someone who would describe how crazy their life was and how screwed up their life was because they were using. And of course, all of us were listening and going, oh my goodness, I can't believe that, he went that far. And the whole idea there is to keep the consequences out there. And it's a fear, in my opinion, it's a fear-based type of a program. Fear is a motivator. Is it a good motivator? Well, it has a certain amount of power to it, but I don't think it's the best motivator. Another motivator is the beauty of my benefits, or the positive outcome that I'm focused on. That, I think, has more longevity. And let me explain my argument here so maybe you can track along with me. I remember there were times when I would drink heavily. And there was this one time I drank really heavily, and I went out and I was racing around in some pineapple fields here in Hawaii, and I used to dirt track, and so I was there in a car with it was actually a lifted four-wheel drive Bronco, and I was going faster and faster and kind of drifting on the dirt, and ended up hitting the berm of where they plant the pineapple, and it launched me, and the whole truck flipped over. Luckily, we were blessed that no one was injured or got killed in that accident. But that night I came home, and I had been drinking I knew I'd been drinking. They didn't know I'd been drinking, but I had been drinking. And so as I surveyed what had happened that night, I said to myself, that's it. I'm never going to drink again. I can't believe I did that. I dodged a bullet. I'm never going to drink again. Well, guess what? As a couple days went by, I started to soften on that resolve. I started to rationalize and justify. Well, I just wasn't careful. I'll never do something like I'm never going to. In other words, if I would have based my sobriety on fear of consequences, it's not a good bet. Why? Because consequences dissipate over time. They're like vapor. They're like a cloud in the sky. You see it, but all of a sudden it starts to dissipate, and pretty soon there's nothing there. Consequences are very acute at the beginning when the trauma is really real and you're close to the trauma. But as the days and hours and time goes by, that trauma begins to leak away, and therefore that motivation begins to leak away. On the other hand, over here, my benefit package, meaning the good things that my sobriety brings, my health gets better, my finances get better, my relationships get better, my self-esteem gets better, my spirituality and how I feel about that gets better. Everything gets better and better and better as my sobriety moves forward and forward. And so in other words, when I focus on my benefits as being my main motivational factor, that grows over time where consequences weaken over time. And so this is why in this program, the focal point is on your benefits. Now, that doesn't mean I don't want you to forget. I mean, you can't forget your consequences. That's what creates wisdom, all right? Knowing that if I do this, this might happen. But what I'm just suggesting is that's not the main focal point. Don't rely on that for your main motivation. to keep you in your sobriety lane, all right? What will be a much more stronger suit for you is focusing and enjoying your benefits as the engine of your sobriety. When I say about the engine, that's what keeps me moving. That's what propels me forward, is enjoying my benefits, celebrating my benefits. And this is what I encourage people to do, is when you say these phrases, remember the phrases that we say? At the end of it, pick a different benefit. I've listed several that are common to many people. Every time I say those phrases, I pick a different benefit each time, and I meditate on it. I meditate how it makes me feel, why I'm enjoying that, and I celebrate that. And what that does is it reinforces those benefits, and those benefits package and the motivation thereof becomes stronger and stronger and stronger and grow in intensity over the years. That's why this program methodology focuses on the benefits as our main source of motivation. So let's say those phrases one more time. Are you ready? I want to use, I can use, however, once and it's over. So in this moment, I choose to accept temporary discomfort. Why? So I can get my benefits. All right, we're not done. That was up to chapter 10 in the book, and we've got 13 chapters. So move on to the next video and let's learn what that has to say.